It is here right at about 10, for the record, 10:07 a.m. here on Wednesday, December 15th. Based on the board members in attendance, we do have a quorum today. So we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Next item of business are the consideration of minutes for the November 17th, 2021 Industrial Development Board meeting minutes. And I'll pause and give everyone a couple of moments to review those which were sent earlier this week. Thank you. All right, so we have a motion on the table from Board Member Oakley.
Second.
All right, and motion has been seconded. We have a proper second by Board Member Wright. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye. All right, any opposed say nay. All right, motion carried to approve those minutes from November's meeting. Thank you. We will now move to the, we will now move to the public comment period. If there's anyone wishing to speak, we will ask that you come to the podium, and we will allow you 3 minutes to speak. All right, seeing that there's no one here to speak today during the public comment period, we will close the public comment period and move to item 4, which is new business. So a couple items, and we'll on these items here for items A and B. There is nothing that the board needs to vote on today, but by statute we are required to receive this information. So for the first item, which is the review of the reports of debt obligations, this pertains to the Century Farms Central Business Improvement District. Again, nothing that this board needs to vote on, but again, in the spirit of transparency and to share, we certainly want to make the board aware of this. So with that said, I will turn it over to Margaret. If you will give us a quick overview of this. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Is it on? Okay, can't tell. The state law requires that the reports on debt obligation form, what is it, CT, the state's number, CT-0253, be presented to the issuing governing body after a closing of a bond transaction. The bonds have closed since our last meeting, and where you, well, I think it's 2 meetings ago where they were finally approved. But the bonds have closed, and the report was given to you via the SharePoint file. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, consider it presented to the board. No action is necessary.
Yes, this has to be presented to the board, correct?
Just presented.
Yep, there we go. Thank you. Any questions? I'll start here to my left. Any questions? All right, to my right. Any questions from any of my fellow board members? All right, outstanding. Thank you. Let's move on then to item 4. And Margaret, that just to be clear, what you just discussed, that pertains to items 1, 2, and 3 under item A, correct?
Technically, what I just discussed pertains to all 4 of those items.
Oh.
So there were 3 reports on debt obligation for the Century Farms transactions, and there's 1 report on debt obligation for the 900 Cleveland Park project and that transaction. These are all forms that are provided by the state and are prepared by bond counsel to the transactions and are signed off on by the chair. And then state law requires that all of these forms be presented at this meeting.
All right, appreciate it.
And one other comment, if I may, sir.
Good. Is this about Dickerson Pike?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. So this comment from Bob is on item number 4 under section A.
Everything Margaret said is exactly right, of course. I just want to say that the bond counsel in the Dickerson Pike transaction asked that we also get signatures on Form 8038, just because it's more complicated than usual sometimes, and so it's been presented, and it's in proper form, and as Margaret said, they've all been, that has been the Dickerson Pike, 900 Dickerson Pike extension was properly approved by this board, and therefore the report on debt obligation is appropriate and Form 8038 is appropriate, and the chair has been asked to sign on behalf of the board those documents. That's it.
All right, fantastic. I'll go again. Any questions to my right on anything? All right, to my left. All right, outstanding. Let's move then to item number B, notice to terminate pilot lease with Standard Candy Company and the exercise to purchase option. So essentially, again, just as a reminder, typically when we do these deals, the Industrial Development Board has to be the owner of the property by state statute when we have these pilot agreements. And however, once those pilot agreements are over, whether it be terminated or expired, there is no need for the Industrial Development Board to continue to own these properties. So certainly these companies want to actually be the official owners of the property by the deed. And just for everyone's knowledge as well, when those pilot agreements are done, there is language in those documents that does require the Industrial Development Board at the expiration or termination of these pilot agreements to deed the property back to the actual owner. So that is something that this board is required to do, and that is included in the paperwork and all the legal documents when these pilot agreements are approved. With that, I'll turn to Bob for any other details to add on this.
Would you like to make a presentation, Tom?
Oh, outstanding. Thank you. If you will, introduce yourself, please, company, et cetera, and we appreciate you coming today. Thank you. Can you hit should be a button for you to hit.
My name is Tom Scott. I'm an attorney. I represent we're the lessees on the pilot leases and the.
I'm sorry. Can you?
Sorry.
I didn't get your. I didn't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Tom Scott. I'm an attorney.
Tom Scott. Okay,
Yes.
Thank you.
And they've terminated. We've exercised the option to purchase, and I prepared transfer documents and presented them to your counsel, Mr. Took, and in addition to resolutions that I proposed for signature. I tried to make that brief, but I think that covers it.
And Mr. Chair, I have reviewed all these documents, and they were prepared well, as usual, and they're all in order, and they required a number of different documents because of a couple of different kinds of property. One is real property and the other personal property. So the appropriate kinds of transfer documents have been done for both, as have the resolutions authorizing the execution of these documents. And so I recommend as issuer counsel that the board accept and approve this transaction and authorize the chair and secretary to sign.
Yeah, Mark, do we need approval on these items? Just from a legal perspective.
You signed the resolutions. This was back in 2011, I think is when we executed these agreements and this particular transaction. The documentation is a little bit different in different form than all of the other pilot agreements and lease agreements that we've done over the years. And so for this particular one, I would recommend that that you approve both of the resolutions. One, I believe, is for the personal property, and the other is for the real property to execute and then execute the quitclaim deed.
All right, awesome. All right. Let's see, any questions here to my right? Okay, up to my left. All right, well, based on that, I will entertain a motion to approve both resolutions. All right, we do have a motion on the floor by Board Member Davis. All right, we have a second by Board Member Oakley. Any discussion? All okay with that? Let's take a vote. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carried. Thank you, Tom, for coming today, and Bob, thank you, and thank you to Margaret for your explanations on this. We are flying through this agenda today. Let's move to the next item here on our agenda, which is item number 5, process to select new bond issuers council. So I do want to say, first of all, this is just part of life, I guess. Bob has served this board for a very long time, and Bob, certainly I'll let you chime in if you have something you'd like to say today. But it is, as all good things do, sometimes they come to an end, right?
Correct. Sometimes, though, we just don't know when that's going to be.
So, I had a conversation with Bob here, pretty lengthy conversation here last week, and Bob is looking it's not anything this board, but just other priorities in life, and because of that, we are in a position where we need to find new counsel to represent us as it pertains to these bonds. It's been phenomenal. I've been on the board, as many of you know. This is my second term, so I've certainly worked with Bob for 6 years, and it's like a lot of things in life. You get to know people, and they become like your friends. So anyway, so I guess I'm sad and disappointed in some ways, but certainly excited for Bob and the next phase of life and everything he has planned. With that said, that does put us in a position, and certainly as chair, that we do need to find someone. And again, we want to find the best qualified person that can help us as we continue to move forward. And so I do want to make clear a couple items. Bob, based on our conversation, Bob is not going to leave us like a thief in the night. He is willing to stay on until we find the right person, but he would like that to happen sooner than later. So again, I thank Bob for his willingness to continue to stay on until we locate that person. I've had numerous conversations with Margaret, Joshua as well, and Margaret was involved in this process years ago. And so kind of today really just want to talk with this board about big picture, high level timelines for this, and then kind of lay out how this would move forward as we work through this process. So big picture, what I've asked is based on expertise. Certainly as chair, I've asked Courtney based on his vast background in economic development to serve on the committee with myself. Also Joshua, who will be taking over for Margaret as our legal counsel as well. And also Michelle Bosch, who's treasurer with Metro. She is accepted to take on that role as well. So I've done this, not exactly in this round, but certainly have done this previously in selecting legal counsel. And so we've got a great team, diverse team, and the idea behind this is we're trying to move quickly so that the goal would be that we identify the right candidate and bring them forward next quarter. So we need to move pretty quickly. Big picture, how our team kind of sees that process going is certainly we're going to put together a very, and I've seen it's a very robust RFQ, request for qualifications, extremely robust. We are in the process of we have a baseline, a base document, but certainly in the process of making edits and revising that. And the goal would be to get that out here in certainly after the holidays as we get into the new year. From there, this committee that I shared with you would go through that. And let me back up and say this too. Our goal is to, we want to cast a really wide net, so we'll, if there's candidates or people you think, let us know, but we've identified, we kind of know what we need, but we want to cast a wide net. So, if and certainly open that up. Diversity is a huge part for me. So we do want to make sure that we cast a very wide net. And from there, essentially how I would anticipate this working board is that sometime in January, mid to late January, if not probably early February, we would likely have a special board meeting where our committee would bring in the top 3 candidates, and that would give everyone on this board, so again, this is inclusive, I want you to be involved, would have an opportunity to have detailed Q&A sessions with the top 3 candidates that the committee has chosen. So this will allow us to move quickly, but certainly identify and target and get the best candidate possible. And then again, I would just ask, we don't have dates obviously yet, but just keep that in mind. And that would be a fantastic opportunity for us to ask questions. And prior to that meeting, we would certainly get out to this board all the detailed information on those legal counsel candidates so that you could have time to review those prior to the meeting. So big picture, that's kind of the thought process and kind of what we're working on right now. And again, it is a time-sensitive matter, so we're trying to move quickly. Margaret, as you've done this previously, is there anything that you would add to what I shared, just big picture, high level, where we are right now?
I don't think so. I think you kind of described the process that we talked about before, and how we went about doing this back in 2009 is when we did it. Yeah. I was just thinking, I think Bob, out of everyone sitting around this table, he's been here almost as long as I have working for the board. So, but back in 2009, yeah, we issued an RFQ. We had a small committee with 1 member from the board, and then some folks, some administrative folks working on that committee. We got 8 responses. We sent it out to all the local firms. I think it's important to hire local counsel, someone with a local office, to be able to come to meetings easily, but with national recognition is helpful. And then, we went through the process where we reviewed all of the proposals. We had an evaluation form where we had particular elements that we evaluated, and then came back to the board. Last time, I believe we came back with the top 4 candidates. Okay. And invited all of those candidates in to speak directly with the board, and then the board chose Trauger and Took, and we worked with Bob ever since. So,
absolutely, thank you for that background. Bob, is there anything?
May I add one?
Absolutely.
First, thank you very much, Margaret. It's impossible for me to say what a joy, what a pleasure, what an honor it has been to serve this board, especially to work with Margaret. Professionals, lawyers especially, rarely get such an opportunity, and it has been, one of the most significant things I've ever been permitted to do in my life as a lawyer, and I really appreciate it. The other thing I want to say is, I think the reason I was selected is that I said that I would be willing to walk to the meeting when we used to meet in the courthouse and wouldn't have to drive. And I think that's why I got the job. And of course, I couldn't make that argument now. Thank you.
Yeah, that's true. And again, I think Bob, especially, Bob meets and I'm glad I'm not, this board is not being charged hourly. So I can actually get all my questions answered without feeling rushed. But Bob's been outstanding. And like I said, he'll stay on as long as we need to, but certainly the sooner the better. So our target is to have, and certainly there's a lot of qualified people in town, so we know that's not the issue, but we want to make sure that we find the right person that's the fit for this particular body, is our goal. So we're confident we'll be able to do that. I'll start here to my right. Any questions from any of the board members?
One quick question. On the RFP process.
RFQ, yes.
RFQ, I'm sorry, RFQ.
Yep.
And thanks a lot, Bob. I wish I got a chance to, get to know you better. Only been here about 3 meetings, but it's been a pleasure so far. Hate to see you go. On the RFQ process, how typically is that, like, once it's put out there, do you wait 30, 45 days for responses, or what's the time limit on the response for the RFQ?
Can I jump
Oh,
in
go
there
ahead.
and answer? The last time we did it, we issued the RFQ on September 30th and requested responses to be delivered by October 23rd. So imagine that 30-day time period would
So
somewhere
just
around 30
a little
days.
under 30 days,
Okay.
essentially.
And
And it's pretty robust, so you
Okay.
do want to, I would say again, you do want to, make sure that your people know about it, so you want to cast a wide net, but two, it's pretty in-depth because, again, the more information that we have on the front end, that helps us. So within that 30 days, we will have that back in. And that's why I said we've got to move pretty aggressively, and again, Bob's been gracious. He's not leaving us, but certainly sooner than later. And so, that's why we've got to move to move quickly. Certainly get it right, but move expeditiously.
Thanks.
Thank you, Board Member Wright. Any other questions here to my right? All right, thank you. Any questions? All right. With that, then.
I have a question.
Oh, sorry, Courtney, go ahead.
Having done this in other markets from Chicago and Dallas, typically you have, I don't know if we do it here in Tennessee or Nashville, a minority council to make sure we have minority firms either being a sub to a prime or kind of flipping that being prime and having a sub support that company. We'll be looking at something like that to make sure we get more minority firms engaged and therefore being mentors and therefore having more minority counsel doing this type of transactions, because right now it doesn't seem very diverse.
No, I agree. So here's what I would say, for our committee, obviously, we've got a committee that's diverse, that's looking at this. I do know of some minority firms, certainly here locally, and certainly I personally know some minority, people, attorneys that would identify themselves as people of color. So I will certainly, make sure that on my end I'm doing that as part of this committee, and I would ask anyone else here on the board as well, if you know of names, send those, or firms, send those to Courtney, copy me, and we'll make sure that we're doing the outreach on that to make sure that we're casting that net. And that's why you heard me say at the beginning, we want to find the right candidate, but we also, diversity is very important. And, if people don't know about it, that doesn't change. So I certainly agree with you, and that's something that we'll focus on within our committee.
Are you talking diversity within the mayor's office or within your department?
It's bond counsel, so.
For bond counsel.
Okay, sorry, that's what you, okay. I want to make sure.
Yeah, specifically for the bond counsel.
Sorry, my-
Yep, absolutely.
If I can be a lawyer for a second, it would be issuer counsel as opposed to bond counsel. And the reason that's important is bond counsel is going to be the one that is representing the transaction and trying to make that happen, and does not have any specific relationship with the board, although we all have seen, even those of you who are fairly new, have seen a really good variety of bond counsel that have appeared before this board. And we certainly want to have the board continue with that kind of relationship. I can't imagine a better relationship, frankly, than this board has managed to keep with various bond counsel who have presented transactions before the board. But you want to have an independent issuer counsel. You have to have one, frankly, or the other bond counsel won't do the deal. And so the qualifications have to include, I think, pretty substantial experience with these kinds of transactions, these bond transactions. And they've changed. They used to be much more normal bond transactions, tax-exempt transactions with indentures and loan agreements and this and that. And they've gotten into pilots, and they've gotten into important affordable housing and that sort of thing. So it's you will select somebody very good, and I love the notion of diversity. So that's my comment.
Thank you for that, Bob. Margaret?
I just wanted to add one more thing too.
Sure, thank you.
Back in 2009, when Metro first started providing legal, fiscal, and administrative services to the board, the decision was made at that time to hire outside issuers counsel as opposed to the legal department providing that service to this board. The reason we made that decision was because the legal department reviews on behalf of Metro the issue. So the mayor is required to sign off on all of the bond transactions that this board does. And there's a very specific process that goes through. And our office provides that review, and prior to 2009, we had been providing that review for years as well. So because of that potential conflict within our office, the decision was made to go this particular route and hire outside issuers counsel. And we would recommend that continue, obviously.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you, in your opinion, do you recommend we continue down that path? So, anyway, so that sounds outstanding then. So, outstanding. I appreciate it. Thank you. With that said, again, I would like to entertain a motion to approve the process that's been put forth today to work to select new issuers counsel. All right, we have a motion. All right, that's been properly seconded by Board Member Segal. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say nay. All right, motion carried. Thank you, and we'll certainly, again, fellow board members, we will keep everyone abreast, and we'll make sure this is an item that we keep everyone up to date with at our next meeting here in January. So thank you. All right, moving to the next item on the agenda, which is the chairman's report. I do have a couple of items I just want to share with the board. Nothing that we need to vote on, but just some really neat news that recently came up that I saw this week. So a couple things. Number one, I saw, if for those of you that have not seen it, and Courtney, I'll shoot you an email if you will just forward this to the board members so that they can read this if they want greater detail. But I did see this week where Amazon, and again, we always talk about companies, and I was on the board when the Amazon grants were approved, but this board has always talked about these companies being good stewards in the community. That's something that this board has been very deliberate about, and certainly we've been deliberate about that in questioning these companies when they come before our board. So when I see something that really hits home, I do want to make sure I point that out for our board. And like I said, I'll have Courtney send this out in case you want greater details. But Amazon, two things. Number one, Amazon, I saw this week, did another $1.5 million, donated another $1.5 million to the housing fund, which is again, really positive. Affordable housing is something that this board has talked about, and we've been very supportive of affordable housing developers. So that's really neat, and I don't think anybody sees the end in sight, that we'll continue to have to tackle affordable housing for sure. I do want to quote you something from the article, because we've had from at-large council member Berkeley Allen. She obviously has attended our meetings in the past and has been very instrumental with affordable housing. I just want to read this excerpt to you from the article. We know that housing stability is tightly interwoven with job stability, school success, and decreasing dependence on social services. Providing landlords with a way to absorb higher taxes from rising property values can help keep rents affordable for the vulnerable populations who need that most. I am thankful for Amazon's commitment to affordable housing and their additional contribution to the Housing Resiliency Fund. Again, that's from at-large Councilmember Berkeley Allen. So I did want to share that with the team. Personally, I'm very excited about that. And again, I'll have Courtney send this out in case you want greater details. The other item which I saw was really outstanding. We talk about, again, we just talked about diversity, and I work in corporate and commercial real estate. I identify as a person of color. Certainly not a lot of people that look like me in that industry. And so this one also stood out to me as well. So Amazon also recently donated $21 million to organizations in several cities. Specifically, out of that $21 million, $5 million has gone to the Urban League of Middle Tennessee to focus on people of color. It's essentially a training program to try to encourage more development. Number one, more developers for people of color, but also with an emphasis on affordable housing as well. So that's really neat. I do want to make sure too, this is all in one email, but I do want to send this out because it is an application process for developers to sign up. Again, one of the criteria is certainly identify as a person of color, but also if you have an emphasis and have done affordable housing projects in the past. So that's really outstanding. I have a friend of mine that I've come to know working through real estate that's a person of color, and we've had tons of conversations about why not more affordable housing developments. And I shot this to him last week, and he's already completed the application. So again, if you know someone that would qualify, the link will be in the email that you receive when Courtney sends it out. But again, I think it's wonderful because, one, it speaks to diversity, but two, trying to tackle a challenge that we have. And I was so excited, quite frankly, I reached out to Michelle Gaskin-Brown, who's the manager of public policy with Amazon. She spoke, she was one of the representatives that spoke here a few months ago, and she echoed that they are extremely excited about the partnership and the program. And again, this is not just, from what I've read, it's not something you just apply to and that's it. There's mentoring, there's classes. This is a long-term program to help developers, again, focus on doing that. And then as part of this as well, it looks like there will be some opportunities for capital as well. And again, working in commercial real estate, one of the barriers is, but typically before you close on a property, you've got a lot of due diligence that you have to do. It's very different than residential. And so there's a lot of money on the front end before you even own the property that you've got to do. And so this program will also help developers have access to funds to go through that process. So really neat. So want to share that with you. Any questions or comments from anyone?
I'll add to that. So one of the
Go
things
ahead. Thank you.
met with the mayor's office with Amazon and Urban League. So we will be involved in helping kind of shore up this program. Haven't launched these programs on the markets myself, and actually being an instructor and mentor to some of the developers. We'll be doing the same thing with developers of color here in Nashville. So it's really that commercial real estate. As you know, commercial real estate is only 1% African American, 1% Latino. So we're trying to change that dynamic with this program here in Nashville. And there are other programs down the line looking at capital sources, but also really providing the mentorship, which is sorely needed for something like this. So it's a very exciting program by Amazon and the Urban League.
Absolutely. Any questions or comments from anyone on the board? To my right? To my left? All right. Outstanding. Courtney, I'll send you this. I already got an email with the links. Okay. So lastly with that, I do want to take some time to recognize Margaret Darby again. Is this your last meeting with us? Okay. Wow. I don't know. That's tough saying that, but I won't say too much. I think I said a lot at the last meeting, but first of all, thank you for your dedication, your service, going above and beyond. Certainly, we've gone through a transition period, and we're glad to have Courtney here now, but, we certainly went through a transition period, and you really had to step in and go above and beyond. And obviously, the IDB is not your only responsibility for Metro, so really appreciate it. Thank you for helping me, especially since I was elected chair. So anyway, I consider you a friend now, and like I shared with Bob, people you work with, you get to know them. So really appreciative, and you already know if you do ever decide, and I'm not saying this, but if you ever do decide to leave Metro and go into private practice, you would definitely be my attorney for sure. So really appreciate all your efforts and work, and we did want to give you a token of our appreciation from the board. We want to do that now. Oh, here we go. Yeah, you can have it. Yeah, or I'll walk.
Nigel's got to talk, so I got to walk. Thank you.
Yay!
Thank you, everyone. Unexpected. Really, really unexpected. I have enjoyed working for the board for eons, and I think the work that y'all do is very important, and you do a great job, and I think everyone on this board is extraordinarily conscientious about the work that they do, and I hope you keep that up, and you will have great legal advice coming from Josh Thomas in the future. He's fantastic, and I look forward to watching y'all and what you do. And I will be far away, so if anyone is ever in the courthouse, come visit me up on the second floor, and I will welcome you in and have a cup of coffee with you. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I know. Does anyone have any other words for Margaret they want to share? No pressure. I just want to ask. All right.
I just want to wish
Davidson.
you well, and it was so great to work with you down at council. I know you're going to be amazing, and thank you for. It's a tough job, but you're going to be great, and thanks for all your service to IDB. It's been really great to work together.
Thank you. All right. Well, thank you. And again, look, this is a great opportunity for you. You share it with us. And again, you'll still be around, just not maybe with the same level of frequency. So, it's been a pleasure. So thank you. All right. Let's move to item number 7 on the agenda, approval of financial matters. Go ahead, Bob. I see something with the bank on there, so.
The Regions Bank provides monthly reports to the board because Regions Bank has some funds that are assigned to the board and owed to the board and that sort of stuff. And Margaret Walker has done her very best to get them to change the address and properly send it instead of sending it to me every month. So we're informed that that is now done. And so I'm just going to hand this over to whomever. And excellent. That's what I was hoping you would say. Here it is. That's it.
All right. Anything else on financial matters?
Yes, I will report our fund balance is up by $32.24 for the month. It is $68,625.51, and the increase is due to interest earned for the fund.
All right. Thank you. Any other questions or anything on that? And Mark, there's nothing we need to vote on on that. So, all right. And thank you all for getting the address changed. I know that can be tough. All right. Well, with that said, again, I'll lastly just say this. I want to thank each and every one of you for serving on the board and giving your time and volunteering for the city. It's a wonderful time. We have some, I guess, people like myself that have been on the board for a while, but certainly people only for a couple years, and now we've also have people have only been here for a couple of meetings. So it's an outstanding time. I'm happy that we're able to meet in person, and again, I'm just very grateful to you all, and certainly Courtney, Joy, your team, Margaret, Joshua, Margaret, everyone. You all have been fabulous to work with as well. So with that said, happy holidays. Happy New Year. Best wishes in 2022. Hope to see you. I look forward to seeing you here in 2022. We'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information on this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.